Started here. So, for starters, good evening, everyone. Happy Friday Eve. Welcome to today's session of the BTS Virtual AI series. My name is Dominique. I am a part of the Black Tech Saturdays team, and we are literally almost to the tail end of the series. And I see some familiar faces or some familiar names, but I just want to give a nice little high overarching reason as to why us at Black Tech Saturdays, why this series was created. And essentially, it was because we wanted to make AI learning accessible, practical, and community centered, where innovators, founders, and professionals like yourself could really build confidence using AI and not just hear about it. So, we have had experts come on here and teach us amazing things, giving us amazing resources that we can use in our work as well as our creative projects. And so we definitely are super grateful for you spending your Thursday with us and continuing to invest in your growth. So today we're talking products, right? We're talking about AI powered prototyping, feedback, and MVP creation. And it is all about using AI to accelerate the product cycle, from validating ideas to shaping early MVPs with confidence. And today I am introducing Erin Lawler, the founder and product strategist of ErinVentures. And I'm going to let Erin tell you um, tell you all about her or them. And more so, if anything, we're just honored to have Erin here to teach us a lot of different things, give us resources. And Erin, let's just get started and I'm going to leave it to you.
Let's get into it. So, first and foremost, thank you so much, Dominique. I'm super excited to be chatting with you all tonight. Thanks for taking time out of your Thursday evening to come and talk product with me. I am a product nerd. I love talking products, so I'm excited to chat with you. So, before we get started, can I maybe like a virtual raise of hands, or maybe let's type in the chat. Who here is building a product today, or who's got a product idea that they're noodling on, thinking through, trying to figure out if they want to build it? And if so, maybe can we put in the chat like how we're feeling about it? Like if we were to choose one word, what would that word be? Would it be excited? Would it be nervous? Would it be, oh, I see, I'm doing too many things at once. Let's see.
I think Eileen gave a thumbs up too,
Okay, I
Erin.
see it. Thumbs up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right,
Uh-huh.
Eileen. Scary, nervous. I'm excited to learn more. Okay, okay. Well, you're in the right place. Unsure. Okay. Okay. Well, let's get a little sure, a little more sure tonight. Let's talk through what this could look like. So I'm excited to chat. Let's get into it. So I'm just reading my notes over here. So every founder in this room, every potential founder, every prospective founder has something powerful, right? An idea, a vision, a lived experience that deserves to become real. And so the, today I want to talk through how we can make those visions real. And the hardest part is moving from idea to clarity, things that we can actually build on and test. But today, we'll talk through methods to do that. And by the time we're done, we'll have tools that will allow you all to test, prototype, and validate an idea in minutes rather than days, weeks, or months. So once again, hi, I'm Erin. I got my start in engineering at Stellantis, formerly known as Chrysler, and sort of fell into product management unexpectedly. I was recruited as part of an engineering leadership program where I rotated through a variety of different departments like marketing, like engineering, design, sales, quality control. And I really gained an appreciation for what it takes to run a business and what it takes to truly scale a successful product. And that experience catapulted me into a decades long career of building and growing products for startups. My expertise lies in guiding and growing founders like you all through the intricate process of product development, all the way from conception to launch, while keeping equity at the core. My work has collectively generated over $50 million in venture capital funding. And now I leverage that experience to run a company called ErinVentures, like Dominique mentioned, that focuses on helping underrepresented founders like us win. And AI is a tool that is relatively new that gives us leverage like we've never had before. Yeah, money bags. I feel it. I feel it. So AI is reshaping how products are built, and the speed is unlike anything we've seen in the past decade. High growth startups use AI not only to accelerate their build process, but to accelerate their learning process. So instead of waiting weeks to validate a feature or build a prototype, founders can get signals from real users in hours, if not minutes. And that means we spend far less time guessing and more time adapting to what users actually need. The big shift here is this: AI levels the playing field. And so a founder no longer needs a huge team or a technical co-founder even to begin. You just need clarity around your problem, and AI can help you fill in the gaps in the meantime. And so when we talk about 2 to 3 times faster build time or 40% lower development costs, we're really talking about giving founders more room to experiment, to refine, and to iterate without burning through time or money. AI gives us that momentum, and momentum is what makes ideas fundable and scalable. So now that we've grounded ourselves in why AI matters and how it's reshaping product building, I want to zoom out a little bit and talk about something really real, like why MVPs fail and what even is an MVP, right? Why does it matter? An MVP is what we would call a minimum viable product. So it's the smallest piece of what could be a scalable product in the future. But AI can't save a broken foundation. It only accelerates what you give it. So most MVPs don't fail because founders aren't smart enough or technical enough. They fail because the fundamentals weren't dialed in. And so the first trap is building too much too fast. When founders try to ship their entire vision on day one, they skip the steps that are testable, that really verify that you're solving the right problem, and they lose the chance to learn early. So like I said, an MVP should be the smallest test of reality. So it's not the earliest version of your large product, but the smallest test of what someone could use or buy. The second trap is no real user validation. So if you're not talking to users, and users are truly real people, you're talking to yourself, and we can't develop in a vacuum. As much as we feel like we know our problem and what we're solving intimately, and we likely do because we've probably experienced it ourselves, we cannot move forward without getting validation from others and real people to confirm that it's not just us that is experiencing this, but it has a place in the market. So the absence of real signals creates assumptions, and that's where momentum dies. And a solution might look really robust to us, but the third trap is actually a problem solution mismatch. So no matter how beautiful a product looks that we're in development with, if that problem isn't framed in a clear and curated way to the direct solution, you end up solving the wrong thing. We don't want to solve a problem that we've made up. We want to confirm that we are solving a problem that exists in the market, and we're building a solution to that problem, not building a solution and trying to create a problem for it. So the clearer the problem, the clearer the direction. And this is where AI can help us sharpen that clarity faster than ever. So if MVPs fail because the fundamentals aren't sharp, then the question then becomes, can AI actually help us fix those fundamentals? And the answer is yes, but not in the way most founders think. So let's talk a little bit more about that too. Any questions so far? And feel free to jump in. I'd love to hear what you all are building. And we'll get into a lab later. But if you have questions at all, feel free to stop me and let's chat it through.
Erin, you did have a question in the chat from Tracy. Tracy asked what kind of products. I believe it was due to you were mentioning that you've worked on products and just wanted to expand on your expertise.
Yeah, thanks, Tracy. I appreciate it. Yeah, I would love to chat more about the product. So I got my start in automotive, like I said, but I've built products all over the board, mostly in regulated industries. So software that dealt with fintech, software as a service of SaaS, as well as health tech products as well. So I've worked across um, building out equity crowdfunding platforms for founders, as well as building out ways to scale like workforce management apps for large corporate clients like Apple and Google. I've kind of been all across the board. Alrighty, let's talk about the real role of AI. All right, so AI is not here to replace product thinking, and I think a lot of times AI can be like a doom and gloom buzzword in that uh, folks feel like they could potentially get replaced. But it's not here as a replacement. It's here to remove friction between the steps of the product lifecycle. And so, one of my favorite quotes is, the people in the gold rush who really made a lot of money weren't the people digging for gold. They were the people who were selling the shovels. AI is a tool, and so we're here to sell shovels, right? We're here to provide tools that allow for a means to an end, and AI is one of those tools. So think of AI as the accelerator that compresses the time between insight and action, not as a replacement for humanity, because the human touch is really what makes a product unique and something that other people want to use. So AI helps us see patterns that we normally miss and validate ideas quicker, as well as prototype at a pace that used to require a full team press of weeks, if not months of bandwidth. So when we talk about ideation, AI gives you breadth, so dozens of angles, user segments, framings you may not have considered before, um, as well as depth during insight generation. AI helps you turn raw feedback into themes, priorities, and early traction signals like uh, user waitlist metrics, as well as engagement. And so for prototyping, tools can help you visualize an idea before writing a single line of code, saves you time and money. And the real value is that it keeps you moving. It keeps you out of perfection mode. You're not stuck in a silo of trying to build the most flawless product ever. It allows you to get something small, that MVP, out quickly so that you can validate it, understand what the gaps are, and iterate quickly. So instead of debating what a product should be, you get real artifacts to test with users and support your intuition with real data. Alrighty. So we know that AI's real role is real. It accelerates us, right? It's not a replacement, but a supplement. So let's talk about the journey it accelerates. How do ideas actually move from concept to clarity to something that users can touch, right? So most ideas begin a little messy. Oh, I see some. Are we getting some chats? Oh yeah, great point, Eileen. That's really true. Absolutely. There are a lot of maximum viable products. And that's the opposite of what we run. Like we we see in the market a lot of times people get an idea and feel like they are the expert. And so they build that maximum viable product and they pay for it later because they haven't done the adequate testing. So completely agree. Completely agree. Alrighty. Okay. So yeah. So the challenge when it comes to making an idea real is learning how to turn that idea into something testable first. So we we don't want a product yet. We want something that we can test and validate. So first you have to frame the core problem. And that means reducing the idea down to the single pain point you're trying to solve. So not the 10 features you eventually want, just one single problem. And from there, you gather signals from users. So their habits, their frustrations, their workarounds, and motivations. These signals become patterns. And once you see patterns, you're ready for your first prototype. And that prototype, I want to be clear, isn't a product. It's a proof of concept. So it's a visual conversation starter. This is not the full Monty. This is an initial demo. As you test that, that's where you get your insights, and you can see what users really care about, what they ignore, and what they would potentially pay for. The MVP sits on the other side of that process. So it's the simplest version, like I said, of the solution that proves whether your ideas can create value. And the journey isn't linear, it's iterative. So think of it as cyclical. You build, you test, you get feedback, you build, you test, you get feedback. So, like I said, an MVP is the smallest experiment that helps you learn something meaningful about your users. So let's talk about what it is and what it isn't. And I think I saw something in the chat. Should you provide several examples of prototypes on products that you previously launched for global market? Yes. Great question. So, I'll say, so for a product I was building for a fintech company, it was focused on small business insurance. We were focused on quoting small businesses and understanding their risk for insurance coverage. And so before building out that full product, what we first wanted to do was understand what their risk profile would look like. And so that first prototype wasn't the full application process, but it was us just measuring the risk of saying, okay, if you are X number of miles from emergency services like a hospital or a firefighting station, what it was called, fire station, or if you're Y number of miles from the border, like let's say, for example, in Florida, they have flood coverage for businesses because they're surrounded by water, right? Those were items that we had to understand. And so that first iteration, that was just one piece of the entire product. But we had to test that to confirm that there was a market for that. And so when you're thinking about that prototype, like I said, if you have maybe 3 questions that you're focusing on for your product, whittle it down to 1. And how I would say would be your deciding factor would be what is going to make or break that product from a revenue and an impact perspective. So, for example, like we knew and we chose the risk profile because we knew that would impact the price that a user got back. And so if we could understand how we got to that price for business insurance, then we'd be able to build out the rest of the flow. And so you're taking almost like that first step, that first half step, testing that, and then building from there. Does that make sense? Awesome. Thanks for the questions. And feel free to come off mute if y'all want to talk to me. I love talking. So, alrighty, let's talk MVP. So like I said, we know that's the smallest piece that helps you learn something meaningful about your user. And it's focused, practical, and designed to answer one high value question, that I was talking about. When you strip away all the pressure to build everything, like what is the one thing we should be building? Not what we can build, but what we should. And MVP is not about doing more with less. It's about doing the right thing first. Not a mini version of your full product. It's not a rushed, flimsy build. It's a clarity tool to test the value proposition for your market. And that value proposition is what will build out your feature set. So it's not a no to your other features. It's a not yet. And it's essentially setting you up for your why and your how. Founders who understand this move faster and burn way less energy, way less time, way less money. They stop scaling assumptions and start scaling validated truths. And so when you combine that mindset with AI, you unlock validation cycles that used to take months, right? I appreciate your time. Look, I'm here to preach. All right. So now that we know what an MVP actually is, let's talk about what makes it strong. And so anyone who's talked to me about product in any way, shape, or form knows how much I love the key pillars, because these pillars are really what make your foundation for everything else you build on. These 5 pillars make what becomes successful products, because they define whether or not a product becomes useful, fundable, and delightful to your users. So you start off with sharp problem framing, like I said, your ability to articulate your pain, knowing your why clearly and narrowly. If the problem isn't precise, everything built on top of it drifts. We're not building castles in the sand. We want solid rock, right? And so AI can help founders generate dozens of framings, but your job is to choose the one that's sharpest. And so we'll get into some of those tools in a little bit. Next is customer learning. You have to live inside your user's world, get inside their mind. So their constraints, their motivations, their fears, their workarounds, like I said before. The best ideas come from imagination. They don't come from imagination. They come from real patterns in user behavior. And that comes by way of testing. So validation, talking to users, and testing in ways where people are communicating with their behavior, not just their words. So tools like Hotjar, or where you can share your screen and understand how a user works through your flow, that will show you even the truths that they don't even realize that they believe. Then comes your focused MVP. That's your smallest test, the validates your biggest assumption, right? This is where founders get leverage. A tight MVP reduces waste, it accelerates truth, and it gets you to something real. Then you go into evidence of demand. So this is the next step past MVP. It's where your product starts to earn trust. So once you are ready to go in the market, you start getting your beta testers, you're validating with real user sets, and you want real world signals to understand that there's a place for you in the market. So signups, replies, early engagement, and usage, that's what proves users care enough to actually use the product that you're making. And finally is your full scale go to market. So even the best products fail without a clear path to users. So understanding how you're going to launch and create clear traction, so clear usage and success metrics, helps quite a bit. So this is about positioning and momentum. A product becomes fungible, usable, scalable when these 5 pillars line up, and then you can scale from there. That's our question in the chat. Oh, I think, okay, yeah. Here we go. Alrighty, so like I said, when the pillars are clear, AI stops being noise and starts becoming leverage. And so that's when that speed becomes useful. We don't want to just leverage AI without a clear direction, because the speed without direction creates confusion and chaos, right? So let's show how AI actually fits in the product journey layer by layer. All right. Here's what I like to call the AI tech stack. This is where everything kind of comes together and how we actually use AI across the product lifecycle. And I might zoom in. Can I zoom in? I want to make sure you all can see this. Happy to share if you all are not able to see, but I'll walk through each layer as well. And so think of this like the product version of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Each layer gives founders more leverage and sharper signals as you go up. At the base, you've got your AI-powered ideation. So tools like ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity are large language model tools. You put in a prompt to help you generate ideas, and that allows you to get dozens of angles, user framings, problem statements in minutes. These are truly just ideas that you'll build on. But this is what gets the ball rolling. Right above that is AI enhanced testing, so validation. Tools like Maze and Loom, these help you turn raw feedback into patterns, insights, and traction signals. So if you think about Loom is a video call recording, similar to Hotjar, in that you can track users' cursors and understand where they're going in your product. So it allows you to see their behavior in real time, asking questions if you'd like, but also going back to review and understand as well. Then rapid prototyping platforms like Lovable and Figma right above that. We're actually going to get into one today, Lovable. But these are allowing you to create clickable prototypes. So once you get those insights, you get quick feedback on your problem statement. You understand what could be helpful. You can generate prototypes, dozens of prototypes in a few minutes to then be able to test those in real time. So whether it's A/B testing, so putting two potential products in front of a user at the same time and understanding why they prefer one versus the other, or going through your user journey and mocking up what wireframes could look like. These are very helpful. Then we have insight acceleration. So using AI to cluster themes, patterns, objections, all from that feedback as you're building. Because like I said, it's a cycle. And then of course the time is strategic iteration. So Notion AI or platforms that help you take all the information that you've had and create decisions that get you clear on what to build next, what to cut, and how to refine for your go-to-market. So each level removes friction, it lowers risks, and it increases your momentum without requiring a big team or a big budget. Any additional questions so far? Awesome. All right, let's get into the lab. So this one, I was hoping to save 20 to 30 minutes for this, so I'm glad we did, because I want to walk through um, a full prototyping session in real time with you all, and have us maybe do some prototyping together so that we all can get an experiment or experience for it, feel for it. So here, I'm going to put a link in the chat. Figma's got its perks, but I get it. It's quite a learning curve, which is kind of annoying, right? That's also why I like AI, because you can put in a prompt immediately and you don't really have to fully like know the intricacies of a platform like Figma, right? It takes a long time to kind of figure that out. So I get it. So let's go into Lovable. Yeah, let me put this. Alrighty. Let me see if I can share my other screen so you all can see. All right, but yeah, okay. So before I do that, let's get into the fun part. Before you all build anything, I want you to see exactly how fast AI can take a raw idea and turn it into a working prototype. Oh, Eileen, do you have a question?
I do. Thanks for holding this session tonight. I'm glad I was able to make it. I had a whole flurry of things before this, but I said I want to be here. First of all, thanks for taking your time. And I've been
Absolutely.
through most of the sessions, as Dominique can attest to. I missed a few, but trust me, I'll go back on them. But I think, and I've overwhelmed myself trying to understand AI, as probably most of you guys do. I mean, my eyes could roll behind my head. It's daunting. But I think just given the community that, the entrepreneurs, assume most small business community, um, most of the stuff that I hear a lot of times is very high level in terms
Mhm.
of, I just went to a talk on Monday. Now, mind you, we're talking some people with some big bucks. One guy's a director at Apple. The other
Mhm.
guy is, doing a digital treasury firm that's backed with, he's got Series C,
Yeah,
multi-millions. So I hear a lot of those types talking about AI, Lovable. We did all
yeah,
the, I've met the person at Lovable, Erin, all those people. But if you let's bring it back to your backyard. What
yeah.
I'm trying to bring it to a level that day to day can help people or
Mhm.
understand, because most entrepreneurs or founders in this community, it's just enough day to day trying to keep up with the bills or keep up with,
Absolutely.
trying to do everything. So,
Yeah.
are you has that been your experience so far? Is why, a lot of us look like we're deer in the headlights when you're talking to us?
I think you make a really good point, right? Like, I think when folks talk about AI, and particularly, giving the examples that you gave, when highly technical people talk about AI, a lot of times they lean into the, how do I put it? The elite framing, I would say, of it as a technology, and that definitely has its place. But I think the real power in AI is that it makes the obtuse or the meta like micro, and it can apply to everyday people, right? And to be real, like, we're talking about AI right now, in this day and age, but AI has been around for quite some time, right? Siri is AI. And so, like, we've all interacted with artificial intelligence for, frankly, decades at this point. But the conversation right now, as it stands, is that it's reserved for the technical elite. And I just don't think that's true. I think that when it comes to making technology truly accessible and truly equitable, these these technologies level the playing field for underrepresented founders specifically, and it allows us to be in rooms where we may not have previously had access due to not having the specific technical credentials that folks were looking for or putting on their bulleted lists before. And so I think, as much as AI has its place with the Apple directors and um and the Lovable CEOs, and I mean, we're about to walk through Lovable right now. So, like, clearly I like Lovable. But I think that it has even more of a place with the smaller founders that are just scaling their companies initially, because it gives them a leg up in a way where they can compete at the same level with organizations that have millions of dollars in budgets. And so we would be doing ourselves a disservice to not leverage it. But also, we would be doing the people who are on the other side of what we're building, the people who are waiting for us to bring our dreams to fruition, a disservice as well, because we can serve them in a way that is responsible, that is ethical, in ways that larger companies might not always think about. But we can use this technology for impact and for good.
Okay. One last comment I'll make, and then I'll let you go because we're raring to see it.
No
But
worries.
the same founder that has this series, whatever, and digital in the digital currency space, which made a lot of sense to me. And I'm not into the crypto and all that, so it made sense to me when he explained how he's
Gotcha.
looking at it. But anyway, I'll say he dropped two jewels that I thought were really insightful. One, or he said he hadn't really, what changed his perspective on how he's done things is that he started to talk to the customer, because he was
Mm,
talking to his people, rather than directly to the customer to really understand what they needed. Secondly, and maybe thirdly, he said, I really need someone to come up. Now, mind you, these are people that are way up there talking all this, Silicon Valley folks. He was
yeah.
saying they really need to come out. I haven't found it yet. They don't have anything out there that can reconcile my accounting, my
Mm,
books and all this, because banking is so far behind
yeah.
on getting to that level.
True.
Lastly, he said, where are the marketers? He said, that's the real folks. We focus so much on the product people and the technical people and all that. He said,
Mm,
but there's really no one out there. And this man said, I'm looking for somebody.
yeah.
He said, but he has not been able to find someone to really do the storytelling, to really put that in the market on all how whatever technologies you're working on, how it can translate to the people out there, the users that may not even realize this is something that can benefit them.
Yes.
But
That's such an
anyway,
impeccable point. No, truly, like, people don't buy what you build. They buy why you build it, and they buy why it benefits them, right? And so being able to understand um how we can frame, because storytelling is so powerful, how we can frame the story around the technologies that we're building and why they are and will be impactful to the users that we're targeting is so, so important. And AI can help us with that too, right? Like ChatGPT or even Lovable, like you can put that in the prompt and talk through like, hey, listen, I'm building this thing and this is why, but how can I present it in a way where the value is clear, so that I can leave people with the impact that I'm aiming for. So I appreciate you sharing that. All right. Okay. So yeah, let's get into Lovable. All right. So we're using a tool called Lovable. It generates full flows, wireframes, and clickable prototypes in minutes. You can pull it up on your phone or laptop if you want to follow along. I put the link in the chat. If you all are on desktop, I think that would be really awesome, mainly because after I show you all this demo, we're going to be doing a couple demos of our own. I want to hear what you all are building, and we're going to be putting some prompts in here, um, to chat that through. And so I'm going to drop in a clean single sentence prompt that's all Lovable needs, similar to ChatGPT, similar to Claude. It doesn't need any fancy code or anything like that. Just put in your sentence. Um, and I try with my prompting, I try to give it a few different things to make it really clear, and so I don't have to go back and do it again. So I focus on the problem, the user, the feature, the success signal, and the format. Uh, Nothing super polished, nothing fancy, but I try to frame that to make it kind of a holistic and clear prompt. All righty. All right, so as you all can see on the screen, here's my demo prompt for today. The problem is founders waste time building pitch decks and prototypes before validating what users actually want. Our user is early stage underrepresented founders with an idea but no technical team. And our first feature will be an idea to prototype wizard. So like a user journey flow that interacts with the founder, that can turn their problem statement into a clickable prototype in minutes. It should reach founders, give them clarity on their MVP, and shares their generated prototype or saves it to their workspace. And it should be in the format of a simple web app with a 3-step, like describe problem, generate MVP, review prototype, user flow. So those are kind of my 5 pillars to the prompt. I put that in oh, see, look at me. I put that in a full sentence here. I was trying to copy it from there, but let me copy it from here. Alrighty, and I'm gonna stop sharing here. Let's share Lovable. Can you all see my screen? Awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right. I have a hard time copying and pasting, so I'm just gonna type it again.
And Erin, when you get done typing it, would you mind copy and pasting it into the chat just for our guests to have it too, if you
Absolutely.
can? Thank you so much.
You never know, you never realize how long your prompts are. You're like, oh, that was long. let me put this in the chat. Here's the chat. Alrighty, you ready? Let's see what it does. Let's see what it comes up with. One thing I like about Lovable too is that you can kind of see it thinking. And so it'll kind of go through its logic in real time. It makes you feel like it's really doing something. You know? While we wait, um, I would love to hear what folks are building or thinking about building.
I'll throw my 2 cents out there. I'm looking at an app or trying to refine an app that is beneficial for those who are interested in the supply chain and how tariffs may impact pricing, because it fluctuates so much, so that people, whomever, the manufacturer, OEMs, or whomever, store owner, what have you, can really forecast and understand the impact going forward, not after the fact.
I want to hear more about that. We should connect. It's awesome. And prices are going crazy right now. So I know there's a market for it. Like, eggs are like $9. And I know we're getting close to time, so I want to make sure that we could potentially get to the next spot too, or we can leave this off as a homework assignment. But I would love to hear how you all complete your lovable prompts, what your prompts are, as well as any prototypes you build. Alrighty. That was loud. Somebody raise their hand. Oh no, I think that was low. Alrighty. All right, so here is the prototype that was generated in, how long did it take us? Maybe a minute or two. You can click through it, interact, type with it. So I'm going to be solving your face. And there's 3, 2, 4, 5 problem statements. Generate MVP. Main page, main dashboard. Okay. Oh, not an error. Don't embarrass me from my friends. Ah, yeah. Okay. Let's just go with test. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. And so you're here, able to prototype in real time. As you often see, it'll find bugs on its own as well. And you can debug and fix those bugs in real time as well. Um, but this is just a way to walk through your prototyping process in a way that's quick, easy to validate, and you can publish and put it in front of users immediately and get feedback. So Dominique, I know we're kind of low on time. We've got 3 minutes left. Uh, let me.
Yeah, you could take an extra 3 minutes if you
Okay.
want. Yeah, yeah, that's good for you.
Alrighty. So I'll save this. This will be a home exercise for you all. But get to know Lovable. Put in your prompts. And here I'll put in. I'll go to the next slide. Feel free to connect with me using this QR code. And I would love to hear about your prototypes in real time through that connection. So yeah, would love to chat more about what you all are building. And I just appreciate your time this evening and walking through this exercise with me.
Awesome. Erin, would you mind going back one slide just so our guests could, if you all could maybe screenshot or take a picture of the slide? Erin is sending us away with homework, and Erin has extended the offer to actually reach out, talk about the prototype, which I definitely think you should absolutely, try to utilize Erin as a resource as much as possible. You get all that expertise, so definitely you should take advantage of that opportunity Erin is extending. But yeah, all right. Did you all have any questions for Erin? Let's give it up for Erin for giving us all this information.
Thank you.
Hey. Okay, so we had something in the chat, Erin. Tracy said, "Thank you. This was great. I'm still ideating on what type of product is right for my space. My expertise is omni-channel marketing strategy for pharma, biotech, or works."
Awesome.
Ooh,
We were just talking about marketing. Great. Okay. Well,
that
feel
is
free to reach out if you'd
awesome.
like, Tracy. I'd love to hear more about it.
Yes. Does
Okay,
anybody have
will
any
do.
questions? I know Eileen was asking questions along the way. Anyone else have any questions for Erin? Going once, going twice. All right, well, Erin, thank you so much again for all this clarity and strategy, the depth that you gave us and brought to today's session. You really walked us through like the foundations of building the products, why MVPs fail, to choosing the right tech stack, reframing AI as a strategic partner instead of a shortcut. And so, thank you so much for breaking down those product fundamentals and the frameworks that are really going to allow us to apply things like real time today, including the prompt. I have not used Lovable. I don't know if y'all have used Lovable before, but now I feel like I'm more apt to try it. I keep hearing about it. So, no, that was great. And to everyone that joined us, thank you so much for spending your evening with us and continuing to reinvest in yourself, filling your cup. And I just want to give you a few reminders. The first one is the recording of tonight's workshop. It is going to be uploaded onto blacktechsaturdays.com within the next week. If you go to blacktechsaturdays.com, there is a resource tab. Once you click resource, it'll say BTS virtual AI series, and then you'll actually be able to see the other recordings of the other workshops that we've had. And again, this one will be uploaded within the next week. The second reminder is that our last workshop of the 2025 virtual AI series is going to be this Saturday from 12 to 1. And the workshop is about ethics and guardrails, navigating AI safely and responsibly with Shayla Unique Davis and Raymond Martin III. So we're going to be talking about just being responsible for AI, data privacy, bias prevention, and all of those things. And then the third reminder is that we do have our virtual AI showcase coming up on December 11th. So if you have attended one or more workshops within the AI series and you want to showcase what you've learned, you've built, or even experimented with, we want to feature you, okay? The participation form is going to be included in an email you should be receiving in about 3 minutes. It'll come from Black Tech Saturdays, and it might be in your promotions folder just to give you a heads up, but literally you should be receiving it in 3 minutes if you're interested in actually showcasing. It doesn't have to be a full-blown project. This is just more so of a communal space where we are supporting each other as we're navigating through using AI. And so thank you all again for your energy and your commitment. And again, if you don't have any questions, please make sure that y'all stay connected to Erin. Make sure you get Erin's contact information. But if you are all set, we hope you have an amazing rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll see you on Saturday.
Thank
That's
you.
all set. Yes,
Thank you
thank
all.
you. Great job, everybody.
All right.
All right, thank you, Erin.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great one.
All right, you too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.